Hey guys, TechGeekHD here again with another video, and today I have the review of the Lishitoys L6052 Quadrocopter from everbuying.net. Now first off, I would like to thank Sam from Everbuying for sending this out to me free for the purpose of this review, and without any further ado, let's get straight on into the video. Now I would like to start by saying this is actually my second quadrocopter. The first one that I owned was the Hoopsan X4. Now that was not sent to me by anyone. I actually bought that for, just for owning it and playing with it myself. And that is actually how I got into quadrocopters and drones. I actually really enjoy flying them. I have a wonderful time playing with them. And they're actually a lot more intricate and a lot more difficult to control than a lot of people would think. Now first off, I want to start out with the cons of the L6052, and that is durability in terms of these landing pads. Now at the bottom of the L6052 there are these 4 feet, and of course they have 4 little rubber pads on them to stop and break the fall if in case you have a harsh landing. Now as you guys can see, the 2 on the front have actually popped off, and they actually fell off somewhere mid-flight and I was unable to find them. Now it hasn't really affected me in any sort of way in terms of landing the quadrocopter, but that's just something to be aware of. And other things in terms of build quality is the fact that these rotors actually end up getting scratched and scuffed very often. Now as you guys can see, I have a lot of scratches and scuffs on these from whenever I'm flying it outdoors, if it brushes up against some leaves in a tree, or if I fly it indoors, which no, it isn't recommended to be flown indoors because this is definitely an outdoor quadrocopter, but it does have a lot of scuffs. Now I haven't noticed that this has done very much to the actual flying abilities of the drone because it does still fly really wonderfully, and it also does flips. Yep, it does flips. It's really cool. As you guys can see here, you can do flips and stuff, and it's wonderfully fun to play with. It has a very long range. I live on the 9th floor of my building here in India. Whenever I do visit India, normally I'm on like the 2nd or 3rd floor in the United States. But over here I stay in a high-rise building, and this will easily double the height of the building. It's going to go up very high. I stay on the 9th floor, the building goes all the way up to the 18th floor, and the drone will go up a lot higher. The only problem is the battery life doesn't last very long. Now as you guys can see here, this is a little battery that is included with the drone or with the quadrocopter. It's a 3.5 or 3.7 volt battery, which is an approximate 800 or 500 rather milliamp hours. Now it has a proprietary connector, and basically it just slides into the bottom of the quadrocopter. It's rather light to be able to keep the entire construction of the quadrocopter light so that it can fly. Once you plug it in, these 4 LEDs at the bottom start to blink and get ready to pair, and at the back of the drone or at the back of the quadrocopter there is a single red LED letting you know what the front and the back is if you're flying it at night. Now you can charge the battery with this included, again, proprietary USB cable. Now a lot of these quadrocopters and drones and things are charged over USB just to make it easier. Now I actually really like this system because you can plug in the battery and then plug it straight into your laptop, or if you have one of those mobile battery packs to charge your phones, it's actually a lot easier. You can just plug it into that and take it with you because you're normally going to have one of those in your backpack, which makes it easier to charge on the go. Now let's talk about the controller a little bit. This is a 2.5 GHz controller. It doesn't have any sort of extendable antenna, but it doesn't really need it because the signal is really wonderful. It has a really long range, and the controller overall is rather comfortable in the hand. Now as you guys can see here, it has a bunch of buttons which include on the left side high and low range modes for the quadrocopter, as well as a video and camera button for the additional camera which is available for this quadrocopter. I didn't order it. In the center we have our headless mode on and off switch, and on the right we have our trim selection. Of course, besides for that we have the power button in the center as well as our 2 joysticks. Now the joystick on the left is used for acceleration in regards to going up and down and the increase of speed of the propellers of the quadrocopter, so it doesn't really have any sort of resistance to it. It's not supposed to. But the stick on the right is for directional movement, and so of course is spring-loaded, which means it's always going to return to center. Now again, speaking of center, that is where the power button is. You're supposed to push the power button and then plug in the battery onto the quadrocopter, which will actually link them both up, which means you can actually link it to other controllers, but I actually do quite like this one. Now of course you can see the infrared LED through the camera, but you cannot see that in real life. Now, of course, as I was mentioning before, there are these buttons on the left and right side. So over here we have a video and photo button. In the middle we have the switch for headless mode on and off. And then on the right we have our trim control sticks, or control buttons. Now at the top we also do have some buttons, and these are what you're going to use to perform the flips on your drone. You press the button on the left for an automated flip, and then you press the button on the right, as well as do a stick movement for a flip that you do by yourself. Now over here I'm just going to pull up my Hoopson X4's controller and just show you guys how similar it actually is. Now this is also rather interestingly, it's very similar to the controller for the L6052 because the sticks are oriented and placed exactly in the same way, as well as the fact that it has this little blinking LED and needs to be turned on before the quadrocopter. And then it pairs, and in fact I can probably pair this to my 6052. I just wouldn't want to because it doesn't have a low range and high range setting. Now that uses AAA batteries, and the L6052 uses AA batteries in the controller, and these have actually lasted me a very long time. Now really guys, that does about do it for this video. Besides for the fact I just want to mention that the controller does feel rather nice in the hand. Yeah, so that does it for the video. Now the L6052 has been a really interesting quadrocopter for me to play with both indoors and outdoors, and I absolutely have loved every minute of owning it. There hasn't been a day that I haven't used it ever since I got it, and I would definitely recommend it for the price that it comes at. Now if you guys would like the best price as well as free shipping, I would definitely recommend you go ahead and check out this quadrocopter as well as a plethora of others on everbuying.net, which is a wholesale Chinese website, but it does actually provide a pretty nice service, as well as for an extra $1 you do get international tracking on your packages. Again, that about does it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please do remember to leave it a like, and for more videos like these as well as others, please do remember to subscribe. Again, thank you very much for watching, and as always, I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.